The result will always dictate your mood after a game, but even more so if you don't show your true self, and that's all we focus on.
That is Vincent Kompany, the Burnley manager. It's actually quite difficult, really, pre-match press conference at the minute, because the elephant in the room is that they are so far adrift, but yet you're trying to be positive and find ways that they can stay up. Do you know what I mean? It's quite a difficult conversation to have.
It sounds like it, yeah. I'd have to be a bit brutal and say, look, answer the question. Is it a must-win game? Because he's sat on the fence. Surely that dressing room, they must be talking about it all the time. Boys, this is massive. We have to win today. Why don't you come out and tell the world, yeah, we have to win. It's huge. We have to. It's a massive game. Have we got the courage to go and be positive with and without the ball? It's huge for us. It's huge. Everybody knows it. So when he comes on and sort of he's a bit coy around it, I kind of think, well, what's the dressing room like?
Well, yeah. He's asked the same thing the previous week before the Palace match about is it a must-win? I suppose managers just don't want to tag it as that. Oh, you're a manager. I mean, you don't want to tag it like that, do you? Oh, well,
why not?
You would, I suppose.
It is what it is, isn't it? There's no point. People aren't stupid. People aren't saying, "Oh no, you're wrong. Let's lose this one." We're not bothered, are we? Sort of thing. Everyone knows if we do not win this game today, we're in trouble. But we're in real trouble, aren't we? If we don't win this.
Yeah. Well, goodness, it's been pretty rotten, hasn't it? But the joys of last season. If you're just a home fan, I mean, there's been elements of positivity away from home this season, but if you're just a home fan, blimey, it's been a tough whole year, hasn't it? We're underway then. Let's see if Burnley can get just their second home win of the season against Bournemouth. Burnley in claret and blue, and Bournemouth in yellow and kind of dark blue shirts, and attacking from left to right as Paul and I look on. There's a throw-in on this near side. Oh, hang on, there's a yellow card here. Who's he booked here? Is he booked O'Shea?
Yeah.
What for?
Stupidity.
What's he done?
Solanke's gone and picked up the ball on the side of the pitch to take a quick throw in, and as O'Shea's come back onto the pitch, he's headed the ball out of his hands to stop him taking a quick throw. No, Solanke wasn't really going to take one. He had no one to take it to, so it was a bit silly. O'Shea didn't need to do it. Right,
yellow card for O'Shea then, inside the first 30 seconds. Bournemouth, well, has shaken his head already. Bournemouth are in possession until Christie's dispossessed by Sander Berg, and then it's play forward by Smith up towards Solanke. There's an offside flag up, so Burnley have a free kick. It's a Trafford in goal for Burnley, and then we wondered which one would play right back and which one would play further forward. So Assignon's at right back, so Vertino is in front of him. And then the two centre-halves are Esteve and O'Shea, and then Taylor's at left-back, Sander Berg and Josh Cullen in the centre of midfield. It's looking like Odebear playing just behind Fofana, with Vertino right and Brun Larsen left. Here is O'Shea, just on the halfway line. You'll find Assignon inside the shadows of the roof of the Bob Law stand. Nicely worked out towards Vertino. He does well. He's away from his marker, in towards the box, rolls it across towards Fofana, and Bournemouth managed to clear. Cullen's back in possession, and he gives it to Sander Berg. Bright start by Burnley going forward. Here is Esteve. He's got Taylor on the left-hand side. If he wants him, he's going to go all the way himself. Goes for goal from distance, and it's blocked. It's out of play. Throw into the Clarets. Good start, Paul.
Yeah, positive start. Even when the ball comes out for the second ball, we're there as well. So yeah, positive. Picking up the second balls is vital in this game today.
It's Taylor to... Oh, it's a rather heavy touch from Fofana, and it's gone out of play for a throw-in to Bournemouth. So they have Neto in goal, Smith, Zabarani, Senesi and Kirchech, their back four. Christie and Cook are the two holding midfielders. Sinemo, Kluivert and Tavernier, with Solanke as their main central striker. Burnley have it just at the edge of the 18-yard box. Oh, and then it's run away by Vertino, and Bournemouth clear. Out of play though, throw into Burnley. Vertino's been quite lively, hasn't it, so far?
He has, yeah, coming across from the right-hand side, getting involved in the game, not just prepared to stand on the wing and hide. At the moment, it's a very good start from Burnley.
Can they go on and get themselves in front? There is Cullen. Out to O'Shea, with Assignon making a run down the right. And it's played in towards the box, looking for Fofana. Bournemouth clear, and then Odebear shoots. He's blocked. Actually, I think it may have come off Fofana. And it's gathered on that far side by Tavernier. And he plays it forward. Burnley are right back in possession with Cullen. Solanke was rather gently picking himself up. He's back running for Bournemouth. There's Esteve to Brun Larsen. Berg finds Cullen, laid off neatly to Brun Larsen, and he gives it to Assignon on the right hand side, crossing towards the box, shot comes in, keeper saves, and Burnley register their first effort on goal with Wilson Odobert.
And quality play it was. Worked the ball from the left hand to the right hand side, overlapping runners, pulled the ball back well. Great run, great timing. The weight of the pass was superb. It's just the end product. It's just a little bit tame for the goalkeeper, but really good start from Burnley.
So it's a goal kick for Bournemouth inside the first 5 minutes here. It is 0-0. Former Burnley midfielder Paul Weller back with us today for this Sunday lunchtime kickoff. Goalless in this Premier League game. You're with BBC Radio Lancashire. Reminder for you that there's some reaction to the sacking of John Coleman and Jimmy Bell on Twitter at BBC Lanc Sport for that, and we'll hear more at half-time as well. Burnley win it back at the edge of the Bournemouth 18-yard box, and it's cleared behind by Smith for a corner kick to Burnley, who have started really well. Bournemouth have been dreadful in the first 5 minutes.
I think that's down to Burnley's pressing though, isn't it?
Fair enough.
They've set traps. They said, go and play out to the left side of centre-half. Once it goes, they went in numbers. They had every position covered, and they pressed with a purpose. They won the ball back, and now they've got a corner.
So, corner kick in front of the Jimmy McElroy stand. And everybody forward for the Clarets. A couple of players just at the edge of the D. And a corner kick. Everybody back for Bournemouth as well to defend it. Sander Berg's inside the box. Charlie Taylor. Esteve's in there as well. It's towards Berg. But, Bournemouth are able to bring it away. Flicked up towards the halfway line. It's out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in. Tavernier unable to keep it in play. So a throw-in on this near side for Burnley just on the halfway line. We do have a good record here against Bournemouth. The last two visits from the south coast for Bournemouth have lost 4-0 and 3-0 at Turf Moor. I think it's just one win in 14 matches. So they don't travel well to East Lancashire from the south coast.
It's a bit cold up here, isn't it?
Here's Trafford looking for Brun Larsen. It's a header away by Smith. And Taylor's gone down. Is that going to be a foul and a free kick? It is. It's Lewis Cook who's fouled Charlie Taylor, and a free kick for Burnley in a half-decent position as well. Yeah,
good again, isn't it? Full-back Charlie Taylor this time, looking to get the second ball, picks up, gets fouled, but 10 yards outside their box. And if your full-backs are pushing on that far, prepared to get forward in numbers at the moment, it's, look, 7 minutes in, but couldn't have asked for a better start.
Nope. Which actually is what Vincent Kompany was referring to on Friday in the press conference, just wanting to get back to playing well, which they haven't done. They were awful against Arsenal last time out here, and they were pretty inept at Palace last weekend, so just trying to get back to a good performance is what he was quite keen to see. Free kick, Brun Larsen in towards the box, and there's a defensive header there away. Assignon rolls it back to Trafford, and he finds Josh Cullen. It's a lovely ball out to Taylor. Taylor heads it down and volleys, but volleys behind for a goal kick for Bournemouth. Away to our left-hand side. It's a lovely, bright, sunny day as well. I hope it is across the county, but it certainly is in the east. Expects a nice change from the rain that's been making us all a bit miserable, or maybe that's just me.
No, I'm with you.
It's making everybody miserable, fair enough. Free goal kick over the halfway line. In goes Sander Berg to win it back. And Trafford has it just out inside the penalty box. Dinked up towards Vitinho. He lays it off to Assignon. Assignon coming infield on the halfway line. And then the Bournemouth clearance actually hits Vitinho, almost came right back to him. Sesenia plays it out towards the left-hand side. Here's Tavernier, who played really well against Burnley at Bournemouth earlier on. Drills it across the box. The Clarets clear, back in by on this right-hand side by Smith. And Burnley clear again, out of play for a throw into Bournemouth. Kind of first time I've seen them come forward.
It is, yeah. We got back in numbers though. That was the good thing. Everyone's prepared to run backwards as well as forwards, and there was a good amount of claret shirts in there to clear it.
Tavernier, as the ball's played towards the box, he always away from the Burnley defender. Shot comes in, well blocked. Tracking him back was good by Esteve. Back in by Smith though. Curls it in towards the 18-yard box. This time it's O'Shea with a header away. And Burnley clear up towards the centre circle. And then Cullen gets it. And plays it down the right channel. One for Vitinho to scamper after. I'm not so sure he'll get there. He doesn't. And it's actually turned out of play. Oh, there's an injury here. Yeah, there's going to be an injury here. Looks like maybe a hamstring potentially.
Yeah, arm's gone up, hasn't it? Held the back of his hamstring. He was chasing after it and he saw Vitinho flying on his right hand shoulder and he had to put a little bit extra into it, and that hamstring wasn't having it.
No, it was not, no. Senesi has gone down the centre half for Bournemouth, and I don't think he's going to continue by the looks of it. So they're going to make an early change. Well, we saw a little bit of danger there, didn't we? As mentioned, Tavernier, he was excellent against Burnley. I think it was back in November when Burnley went down to Bournemouth. It certainly has plenty of pace about him. So it's a little bit of threat from Bournemouth, but this is a really encouraging first 10 minutes.
Yeah, very, very good. Very good. You don't want to get to half-time, though, and say, look, you know, we've had a great 45, but they keep counter-attacking and having these opportunities. So we've got to make sure we keep that back door shut. We can send as many bodies forward and it all looks good, but you don't want to be getting caught on the counter-attack to get this team.
No. So there's a bit of a delay here as to whether they work out whether Senesi can continue. Just a reminder of yesterday's scores, the ones that certainly are affecting Burnley. Everton 1, West Ham 3, Nottingham Forest, who weren't happy with the referee, losing late on against Liverpool 1-0 at the City Ground. I mean, I think it was either 9th or 10th minute of stoppage time. And Luton played really well against Villa, but they lost 3-2. So the three teams directly above Burnley all losing yesterday.
Have you watched any of it? Because to be fair to all three teams, they were harsh.
Yes, they were, weren't they?
Very harsh.
Yeah.
I thought Luton played ever so well and then got the sucker punch at the end.
Yeah.
Forest deserved a draw until the referee got involved, and calamitous how you can give a drop ball to Liverpool, and it's clearly a Forest player. And I thought Everton absolutely how they lost 3-1 I do not know. They were fantastic, they had great opportunities. Their goalkeeper for West Ham was on fire. So yeah, a good day for Burnley.
Yes, yeah, and he could easily have gone the other way, couldn't he, as you say, with the performances of those sides. But as it stands, it is 10 points from safety, because the game being at 0-0 here, coming into 11 points away from safety. Burnley, Sheffield United bottom 13 points, and then Burnley with 13 points before we got underway. Luton Town 20 points, a third from bottom, and then Forest 24 points, Everton 25 points, and Brentford 26 points. So we have got a change. Senesi has gone off, and Chris Mempham's come on. So they've had to make a change at the back. First choice centre half gone off injured. Throw in for Burnley. Assignon with a loopy throw in towards the box. Bournemouth clear. And there's Tavernier with the clearance, and that's gone off a Burnley man, and behind for a goal kick for Bournemouth away to our left hand side. 13 minutes played. A little bit of stoppage time there with that injury, which will get added on. Today's referee, by the way, is David Coote, and the VAR is Jared Gillett. So that'll be something to look forward to later on if they get involved. Goal kick for Bournemouth, and it's drilled by Neto right down the middle of the pitch. One for Solanke to try and flick on. O'Shea right up alongside him. And then it's picked up by Semenyo, who works it back to Smith. Then it's played in towards the 18-yard box, and there's going to be a shot on goal. It's 1-0 Bournemouth. Clivert scored. Bournemouth go 1-0 up after a bright start by Burnley. Clivert managed to find a way past the marker and hammered it past James Trafford. 13 gone, 1-0 Bournemouth. Yeah, awful defending from Dara O'Shea. Just waiting on his heels, just didn't expect it for some reason, and the player just nipped it in front of him. And then he's dived in. The player's just dragged it a nice little turn and smashed it past the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper's got no chance whatsoever. But that is awful defending. Yeah, and that kind of sucks the life out of everybody inside the ground, doesn't it? After such a a bright start. Watching back on the replay here, what they're checking for, I don't think there's much wrong with that, I don't think. What, I think maybe a potential offside?
No, he's just watching the game. Dara O'Shea is just watching. He's at the centre half, he's just on his heels, not reacting to the ball that's bouncing. He's just taking his time. Then he's dived in, and then it's in the back of your net.
Great finish.
Very good finish, but the centre half made it far too easy for him.
Because he's gone in there.
Yeah.
So Burnley 0, Bournemouth 1 here at Turf Moor, and Claret's going behind in this game. The result was Vincent Kompany slumping down into his seat as Trafford is knocked it out of play for a throw into Bournemouth on the far side of Turf Moor in front of the Bob Lord stand. Kompany's back at the edge of his technical area. Well, Bournemouth have got themselves in front, even though Burnley have been the better team in the first 15 minutes. It's knocked out from the back by Zabarini, but had a play for a throw into Burnley.
This is the big test now, though, Scott. You know, it was a great start. Opening 12, 13 minutes was fantastic. We didn't get the goal we wanted, or maybe deserved, but now is the big test. Have you got the courage to now still get on the ball? Shoulders got to be pumped up, your chest out. Can you really go and press this? Still have the belief that we can get back into this game?
Signon for Burnley, 10 yards over the halfway line, back to Sander Berg, and he finds Estef. And Estef under pressure from the goal scorer, Justin Kluivert. And then away to O'Shea on the right-hand side. On to Vitinho, lays it back to Sander Berg. And Taylor makes a run. And he tries to pick him out. In comes a challenge. And as he won the ball, the referee reckons he has. So it's a throw into Burnley. Oh, hang on, he's just stopping the throw, so they're going to have to wait for a check.
It's not even close. It's a great challenge.
Okay.
It's just how they referee nowadays, isn't it? They don't want to make a decision, they're waiting for someone else to make the decision for them.
Yeah, looking back, it is a great challenge, isn't it? And the referee gets the nod from his mate, watching back in London, to say that's all right. Taylor's throwing, and Fofana can't make anything of it, and Bournemouth clear. One for Solanke to chase after. Estef knocks it back towards Trafford. He finds O'Shea, and then it's with Max Estef back to Cullen in towards the centre circle. Burnley have it with Sander Berg. Now it's on the right with O'Shea. In the bright sunshine, finding Cullen in the centre circle. He moves 4 or 5 yards further forward, finds Estef. His pass is blocked by Semenyo. Bournemouth win it again. Smith knocks it down to this right channel, looking for Kluivert. But Burnley have it again. Here's Estef to O'Shea. It is Burnley 0, Bournemouth 1 on BBC Radio Lancashire. Vitinho for the Clarets. He's been quite lively in this first half, and he's won Burnley a free kick midway inside the Bournemouth half. Yeah,
picking it up in good areas as well. Coming off that line, getting involved in the game just inside pockets where the opposition don't really want to pick you up. They're not sure who's going to pick you up, but he's prepared to get on the ball for Vitinho and go and make things happen.
Well, he did that at Palace last weekend. He came off the bench. Actually, he produced a little bit of skill that got Burnley a goal that in the end was disallowed for offside, but he was quite lively coming off the bench late on last week. Maybe that little spell off the bench has earned him a place in the starting 11. I mean, there wasn't many positives to take from last weekend, but that perhaps was one of them. Free kick. It's flicked down by O'Shea, swinging towards the back post, and then on the volley, Fofana completely kind of misses it, but Brun Larsen gathers it, and then Assignon goes back towards Trafford. Bournemouth will squeeze right up. Trafford drives it down the right channel. Fofana's scampering after it, and I think he may have fouled. He has. He's fouled Kerchets, the fullback. So a free kick to Bournemouth right down by the corner flag. 18 minutes gone. Burnley 0, Bournemouth 1. The goal scorer being Kluivert, having got away from O'Shea, and then absolutely wallops it into the back of the net. And they proper hammered it. Pulled it back onto his right foot, and then on the volley smashed it in. But Paul Weller wasn't happy with the defending. I don't think Vincent Kompany would be happy with the defending either. It is staggering, actually. The amount of goals that Burnley have conceded. Only Sheffield United have conceded more. They're almost at 60 goals conceded now, Burnley, for the season. And Kompany, one of the great centre-halves, is the manager of the club.
It is weird, isn't it? Because they say that the teams normally represent how their manager is and what they're about. And that's why when I first went into management, I tried to get Vince Overson with me, because I knew as a centre-half, all he'd think about is making sure we do not let a goal in. We got end of 90 minutes, it's nil. That's what it is. I don't care if we score 1, 2, 5. Your mentality is that we do not lose this game. It stays a 0, and that's why I'm a bit surprised by the back four. You know, some people keep telling me, is this a Premier League back four?
As Trafford's in danger of making a hash of it with Solanke closing him down, but he does get away with it. And now Assignon lifts it in towards the box, just a fraction in too far in front of Brun Larsen, and a clearance out of play for a throw-in on the far side. I mean, it's not been a settled back four, and there are mitigating circumstances behind it, but he's changed the fullback through the season, both fullbacks through the season. He's changed the centre-halves pretty constantly.
Connor Roberts.
Well,
was he ever present last year, or played a fair few games, didn't he?
He's been farmed out.
He's gone.
He is a goner. The only present in that defensive lineup all season has been the goalkeeper. There's Assignon at the edge of the 18-yard box, and a January signing, as is Esteve. Had a play for a throw-in on the far side to Burnley. 20 minutes played. 1-0 to Bournemouth. Assignon to Patino. Little dinking towards the box. It ricochets off Audebert, manages to whip it back in towards the area, and actually does really well. He wins a corner kick. They're playing it off a Bournemouth man and behind for a corner. So he's done his bit there. Corner kick on the far side. Well, Taylor stood inside the 6-yard box, or just at the edge of the 6-yard box, and there's a pocket of players at the edge of the 18-yard area. Now the corner kick's worked short, and he weaves his way in towards the area, and he's kind of gone behind most people. I think it was Esteve who tried to backheel it towards goal. Didn't make any contact with it. Hits Trafford on the halfway line. He'll pump it forward. Smith underneath it for Bournemouth, heads it out of play, and it's a throw into Burnley on this near side. Back he goes to O'Shea, Taylor from the throw-in, and now across to Esteve. Gets it again inside the centre circle. 22 play, 1-0 to Bournemouth. Burnley in possession with Dara O'Shea. Now Cullen to Audebert, to Sander Berg, who manages to weave his way forward and takes it up towards the edge of the D and still has it and plays it forward. Bournemouth hook it clear. I think Sander Berg might get it back again. Well, he didn't, but Cullen did. And now he finds Audebert out to Vitino on the right hand side. Vitino crosses, it's too high, and I think they want to let that go out of play. They do, for a throw into Bournemouth on this near side.
Huffing and puffing, they really are getting there. The forward play is really, really good. Vanderberg, Cullen, they're all wanting to get on the ball. Brun Larsen and Vitinho are trying to come in and affect the game positively. Just got to keep that back door shut. I do worry about the defence.
Yeah, well, it's been an issue, hasn't it? That's 59 goals conceded this season. So as Sheffield United conceded more. The Sheffield United goalkeeper and the Burnley goalkeeper are in danger of setting a new Premier League record for a goalkeeper conceding goals in the Premier League season. Ball's on the right with Assignon, half cleared to Vitinho, goes for goal, and he lifts it over the bar and behind for a goal kick.
But as the cross comes in, there's 4 claret shirts in there, which is good. That shows that they still believe in themselves.
Back with James Trafford. Yeah, I was just looking back to see what goalkeeper in Premier League history had conceded more. So James Trafford and Wes Foderingham. And now, well, Foderingham's conceded over 60 and Trafford's almost at 60. I'll come back to it. Solanke has it. There's a possibility of finding Kluivert here inside the box, and he does find him. Then it's pulled back and it's hammered over the bar by Tavernier into the roof of the cricket field stand. So a goal kick. But again, Paul, Burnley playing out from the back. This is what they've done all season, and they did it last year. But
I know, but this is the philosophy of football nowadays. This is what we had to get used to last year. And there's times when I thought, well, we've just gone from back to front and we've stopped playing. So are they in that mindset at the moment? We're not sure whether to do it or whether to stick or twist. I feel for the goalkeeper, because I see it all on social media. He's getting a lot of stick for letting all these goalkeepers in and Muric come back in. But again, I'm only witnessing bit parts of this season. But you could put Peter Schmeichel in goal with that back four, and I think he'd be up there as well. So, you know, I feel for him a little bit.
Oh, and he's right at the edge of his box and just gets there ahead of Solanke. Yeah, I get you. I think you can have, and he's only a young guy, isn't he? He's barely played.
Yeah.
Played a season in League One with Bolton. David Watson at Barnsley in 1998, by the way, is the goalkeeper that's conceded more than anybody else in Premier League history in one season. But that record might be in danger. Here is Brun Larsen at the edge of the 18-yard box, flicks it in towards the area. Now Odebear, edge of the D. Well,
it's a foul.
It looked that way, didn't it?
It's a foul. Oh my God, how's the referee not seen that?
He's gone to try and, well, I think have a shot basically, hasn't he, from the edge of the D? And
he clipped his ankles.
Yeah.
Oh dear, referee.
Well, there's nothing that VAR can do with this one. They don't get involved with things like this. Well, if it was in the penalty box, they would, obviously, but because it's not, there's not much they can do about it. But it looked like a foul, didn't it, watching it live? I see enough.
This will be better, won't it?
Yeah, this is a closer replay. Takes a touch.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not. Odebear, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, fair, yeah.
Great call, ref.
Yeah, we've got it. It looked like a foul up here, and the referee's got it spot on.
Yeah, two bodies around him, and you thought somehow, how has he managed to scoop the ball as wide as he did? But no, he did it.
It's Vitinho inside it's a rare skill. It's Vitinho inside the centre circle. 26 play, 1-0 to Bournemouth. Here's Cullen out towards Assignon. Vitinho gathers it just inside the area. Has a go at goal, blocked. Assignon tries to win it back, and Vitinho picks it up. Corner of the box, this. And then it's cleared by Christie over the halfway line. Trafford gets to it. Well, they're trying, aren't they? They're trying to get back in the game.
Absolutely. The movement's still there, the hunger's still there.
Yeah.
They're still trying to work their socks off, and just as we say that, they kick it out of play.
Stev, just knocks it straight out of play for a throw into to Bournemouth. 27 minutes play, Burnley 0, Bournemouth 1. That's been certainly a criticism from Burnley fans. I think some Burnley fans is there actually that desire there? Which I think sometimes is an easy thing for fans to do, and it's like you question desire, don't you? Of course they desire, of course they care.
Exactly, yeah. Again, I've seen it on social media, and I've not wanted to bite, because you think, well, how could a professional footballer take to a pitch and think, no, I don't care?
Exactly.
You know, these guys want to stay in the Premier League, trust me.
Exactly.
They want to play on the big stage.
There's Taylor, left-hand side. And into the box it goes, headed away. Sanderberg pulls it down, lays it back to O'Shea. Brutal facts of it, they're just not good enough. I mean, 3 wins all season tells you that they've just not been good enough. But maybe they can do something in the final dozen games of the season that we've not seen consistently so far. Here is Vitinho. Back with Assignon at the edge of the box, pulls it back to Sanderberg. Oh, he's got a bit of space here. Edge of the area, pulls it back, finds Odebear, he lays it off to Cullen. And now Estev, some way out, knocks it square to O'Shea. He dabs it back to Cullen. Now Brun Larsen, fizzed away to the right. I think it was aimed for Assignon, but Sanderberg says I'll have it instead. Finds Cullen, and he goes back to O'Shea, back to Cullen, the Burnley captain. Plays it forward, Fofana holds it up, does well actually under a little bit of pressure. Clarets keeping possession. They're on the left-hand side now with Charlie Taylor at the edge of the 18-yard box. His left foot across, high in towards the area. And it's away by Bournemouth, but straight back with a claret and blue shirt. It's O'Shea to Cullen. Away from Solanke. Tries to just dink it up towards the area looking for Fofana. Again, a clearance comes in by Zabarini this time. And then laid back to the goalkeeper Trafford by Estev. There's certainly a period of possession here for Burnley. Collins bundled over by Lewis Cook. There's a free kick for Burnley for that foul.
Yeah, it's a good bit of possession, Scott. It's that final ball, isn't it? It's finding that little bit of a magic to open up a door. The fullbacks are really pushed on, so it's really narrowing the two wide players. They're not sure where to pop up at the moment. So maybe it might be a case of the fullbacks just go a little bit deeper to create that space.
Well, here's one of the fullbacks, Assignon, trying to get it from Sander Berg at the edge of the box. There's a clearance coming in by Kirchet. Out of play. The assistant flagging in the direction of a Burnley throw. And they've taken it quickly. O'Shea back to Trafford. Yeah, he's got to have a bit of thick skin, hasn't he, James Trafford, this season? It's been a tough one. He's probably made some... in most games he's making quite a lot of important saves. He's had a torrid time in front of him.
And if Muric was ripping it up in training, he'd be in.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
so there might be things behind the scenes, but I think to blame a young goalkeeper all the time, and I get they make risks, the young lads, they're going to, but sometimes just look at that bigger picture.
It's a goal kick for Bournemouth. We've played half an hour of the game. You're with BBC Radio Lancashire. We're live from Turf Moor, where Burnley are playing Bournemouth in the Premier League. 1 o'clock kick-off in this live Sunday football. At half-time, we're going to get some reaction to the sacking of John Coleman and Jimmy Bell. Their 20-year stint at the club, split, of course. They briefly went to Rochdale, but I think they've been back together for about a decade in this second spell. Well, that's come to an end. They lost 4-0 at Wrexham yesterday, and the decision's been made to sack Bell and Coleman, and we'll get some reaction on that at half-time. There's Lewis Cook. Now it's out to Tavernier at the edge of the 18-yard box. Assignon and Vertino working hard together to try and win the ball back. Tavernier wins a throw-in, though, for Bournemouth. Pretty much level with the 18-yard box in front of the Bob Lord stand. Kirchets will take it. Solanke's inside the box. And that's play down this left channel. Oh, and Bournemouth have it until O'Shea can clear. And now Assignon scoops it away. Had a play for a throw into the visitors just on halfway. And it goes back to Memphis. And Chris Memphis plays it back to the goalkeeper Neto. Over halfway onto this right-hand side. Semeno gets up and wins the header, but bouncing comfortably into the hands of James Trafford, the Burnley goalkeeper. Still 1-0 to the Cherries. There's Trafford. Has it at the edge of his 18-yard box. And he's going for a big ball right down the middle of the pitch. Looking for Brun Larsen. One at the back, though. And Sander Berg doesn't get to it. Solanke tries to make the most of it, but Esteve is there to run it back for the Clarets. There is Josh Cullen. Now Fofana in the centre circle. Back to Cullen. Away to the right-hand side, and O'Shea onto Assignon. Vertino's dispossessed. Vertino's dispossessed. He was. Had a play for a throw into Burnley, which Assignon will take. Goes down the right channel looking for Fofana. Can't find possession though. Fofana is easily eased off it. And Bournemouth play it forward by Smith to Semenyo. In goes Taylor on Semenyo. And out of play it goes for a throw-in on this near side.
So that was a foul on Semenyo, Taylor.
Yeah, referee was happy to carry on. Semenyo away from Brun Larsen. Finds Christie inside the centre circle. Vertino goes to close him down. The deflection finds Cliver, who's the goal scorer, and he'll fizz it away to the far side. It's done well by Tavernier to keep it in play. And now Lewis Cook. It's quiet at Turf Moor. Zavarini goes back to Neto, the goalkeeper. Played over the halfway line. O'Shea with the header. Straight to Lewis Cook. And here's Smith, plays it down the right side, looking for the run of Solanke, but Charlie Taylor follows him. Burnley back in possession. Here's Sander Berg back to Trafford. Well, that kind of sense of penetration, that threat that Burnley had in the first 10 minutes or so, it's not there at the minute.
It's gone a bit flat now, hasn't
it? Yeah,
the pace. I know they're shouting at Trafford a little bit, to hurry it up, because the goalkeeper for me can set the tone of the game, and if he does things quicker, it then just gets the rest of the team moving. But they need to put something on for Trafford as well. So, catch-22 really for everybody.
Here's Collum up towards the D. Now Audebert trying to bend it into the top left-hand corner, but from the edge of the D, bends it behind for a goal kick.
For the moment, it's that final end product, isn't it? Shot on the edge of the areas, or that final ball in and around the penalty spot. It's just not quite happening for Burnley at the moment, but they're still pushing, they're still trying. Cullen's getting on the ball, he's looking to try and do 1-2s and get the play going.
I never asked you, because you mentioned that when you took over at Colne, you brought in Vince Overson because you wanted to make sure you were nice and strong defensively. Has it worked out?
No, not at all. No, I got rid of him. I don't know. No, I did. I wanted his, his opinion, and it's, you need someone like that knows the game really, really well, and he got our back four into shape. They understood the importance of defending realistically, because the modern game now. Hold on.
Yeah, here's Solanke from a quick free kick down the right-hand side inside the 18-yard box. He pulls it back, and Semenyo has it, and now Smith will cross from this wide right position. There's a flag up, offside. I think that was the original Solanke offside.
Yeah, it's come back to him, isn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah, but I just go back to the modern defenders nowadays. It's about getting forward, isn't it? Can you play? Can the fullbacks go? Get beyond their wide players and get crosses in? And it's all about how many assists you've got. Right, can you keep the ball, rather than can you actually keep a clean sheet? And I think that's where some teams, whichever level it may be at, sometimes you just got to go back to the basics. And as a back four and a goalkeeper, keep a clean sheet. That's your job.
How's your season going, by the way?
It's okay. We didn't have a great start, and again, that was down to me on a few occasions, learning the league, learning the level, understanding what it was all about. But literally since November, I think we've only lost one game, and we're on a good little run. We just need some games on with this weather.
Yeah. Well, so that's the case. There's Esteve with a defensive header away. Paul's the manager of Colne, by the way, if you weren't aware of that. There's Assignon. And back to Trafford, and he clears up towards the halfway line. And Bournemouth are back in possession. What have we played now? 37 minutes. It is Burnley 0, Bournemouth 1. This is going to go right through to Trafford from a ball play from the back by Zabarini. So Burnley are back in possession. Shea knocks it back to Trafford. And that's played forward to Audebert. He'll swing it out to the right. Assignon's a target. Nice first touch to bring it under control. Still has it, albeit Tavernier has done really well to bring it forward. And he finds on the halfway line, there's Semenyo. He's right on halfway, then just nudges the ball back towards Zabarini. And Bournemouth will work it across their back line. Memphis out towards the left-hand side in Kirchets. Oh, he's giving it away. Vitinho. Now then, can Burnley make something of this? Audebert in the centre circle. Fofana furthest forward. He finds Brun Larsen on the left-hand side at the edge of the 18-yard box. Brun Larsen still has it inside the area. Now to Fofana at the edge of the D. Just trying to create an opening for a shot, I reckon. And it couldn't quite work out. Sander Berg, then he's unable to get to it, and Bournemouth can break. And they have it with Christie. He finds Solanke on the right-hand side. He's been forced out wide, but still has it. Coming across the edge of the 18-yard box. And then Esteve leaves a boot in. And there's a free kick to Bournemouth. That all came from a Burnley having the ball at the edge of Bournemouth's box.
Yeah, it did. It was Fofana, wasn't he? Dilly-dallying on the edge of the area. Wasn't sure whether to try and get Sander Berg in the game or have a shot. And in the end, Bournemouth stole the ball away from him, and they literally travelled about 60, 70 yards up the pitch and got themselves a good opportunity, 7 or 8 yards outside the area.
It's probably shooting range, this, isn't it?
Probably is, yeah. It's a bit of a... I wouldn't like the angle. You've got the wall there, so it'd be something special to beat Trafford from there.
Right, okay. Well, there's a cluster of Bournemouth players stood by it. There's a rather loose-looking, bedraggled wall, which I'm sure will look a bit more formidable in a moment or two, but at the minute it doesn't.
Yeah, normally there's 4 in the wall and someone lying down, isn't there?
Yeah.
At the moment, there's 3, and they look like a bit like Ragars Rovers.
It just looks a bit half-hearted, that, doesn't it, really? Well, they're kind of 3 stood by each other. And there's like a little gap to a Bournemouth 2-man wall. It's going to be Tavernier. He's going to take it. Here he comes, left-footed, and he went for goal. Dipped, but it dipped when it passed the crossbar.
Too far out, wasn't it, realistically?
Yeah. Goal kick. 5 to play. Well, 6 actually, to be accurate, plus stoppage time. Pirates trailing 1-0. Bright start, really good opening 10 minutes or so for Burnley, 10 or 15 minutes, and then they're undone pretty easily, albeit the finish from Kluivert was outstanding. And that's where we're at, really. They've kind of worked hard, they've tried to find a way back into it, but Neto's not really been tested, has he? I don't think he has, since that opening 10 minutes. Can't think of anything. A couple of shots wide, that's been about it.
No, we've not really hit the target, have we?
No. Doing that one effort by Audebert at 0-0, which Neto saved.
It's just the whistling, but there's just nothing on for him.
I know, I don't know what...
I just don't know what it is they want him to do.
No, I don't. I'm getting a bit impatient with Trafford. Well, he went to Fofana, who dropped deep there. And he knocked it back to his goalkeeper. Now it's away to the right-hand side. And was the referee pulled it back? Oh, he sent a free kick, I think, was it? He must have done. Free kick to Burnley. Now then, Audebert to Fofana. Out comes the goalkeeper, Neto. Falls to Bron Larsen. His shot's blocked. The first time, really, since going 1-0 up, Bournemouth have been stretched and pulled out of position. And the Clarets win a throw-in on this near side, albeit Bron Larsen rather theatrically has gone rolling off the pitch. And there's a yellow card to Semenyo for dragging Bron Larsen back.
Yeah, manhandling, wasn't it? Didn't really need to do that.
No.
But that was a great run from Fofana. Could he have been braver and gone in for the challenge with the goalkeeper? Bit of a 50-50 that he just pulled out, but the opportunity was there for Bron Larsen and just couldn't quite get that on target.
So I can't remember if it's a free kick or a throw-in. I think it's a free kick. It is. So it's a free kick for Burnley. Well, Fofana's down. So I don't know, maybe overstretched a bit. He's been dragged back to his feet by Wilson Audebert. It's a throw-in. I thought it was a throw-in. So it will be Charlie Taylor to take a throw-in instead of what he thought was a free kick for a foul by Bron Larsen. Throw-in for Burnley, level with Bournemouth's 18-yard box, and Charlie Taylor is going to take it. What's he got as an option? He's got Wilson Audebert. He gives it back to Taylor. And now Cullen to Esteve. And across to Trafford. Trafford to Berg. Back to the goalkeeper. On to Fofana. Fofana rolls it back to Trafford.
He scares me every time he comes to get the ball short, Fofana. But it seems to go back to Trafford, and you think, if you're playing into the striker's feet, where's the movement? Where's the link-up play? Where's the wide players taking it off his feet?
There's Audebert to Esteve. Across to Cullen. And now Esteve, he goes to Trafford. And Trafford this time was a little bit more direct, up towards the Bournemouth 18-yard box. And Bron Larsen gets it, finds Cullen to Sander Berg. Here he is, Berg up at the edge of the D. Still has it, forced out wide. Knocks it in field to Cullen, he did well actually. The referee sent a foul. Yeah, he sent a foul on Josh Cullen, so a free kick at the edge of the 18-yard box.
Yeah, he just flicked it around the corner, didn't he? And he just caught him on the ankle. A good opportunity here to put a ball in the box. It's another yellow card for a Bournemouth player, but right on the corner of the area now, an opportunity. It's a horrible angle to try and get his shot away, but potentially it could be a shot come cross and get the bodies flying across.
Yeah, it is a yellow card, that too, isn't it?
Looks like he just tried to pull out, didn't he? But those studs are there around the ankle, so you can see why the referees pulled that yellow card out.
Yeah. So free kick for Burnley, and it's they say it's an awkward position. This it's at the to the right of the 18-yard box, only a yard or so away from being inside the area. Delivery needs to be good. Can someone win a header? Can Burnley nick a leveller before the break? We'll see. There's only 2 of 3 in that Bournemouth wall, and the 2 Burnley players stood by it are Charlie Taylor and Jakob Brun-Larsen. So who will opt for this one? Probably Taylor, isn't it? His left foot. There's a couple of Burnley players stood in front of the Bournemouth wall as well. Final 15 seconds of the first 45 minutes. No, it will be Brun-Larsen. Oh, he's gone for goal. The keeper does really well to palm the ball away. On target, goal bound, and Neto gets a strong hand to it and denies Burnley an equaliser.
Yeah, what a free kick. Great free kick. We all thought it was going to be the left foot of Charlie Taylor, but he's whipped it around the wall with his right foot, and the goalkeeper has done ever so well. It's not quite the top corner, but it's not far away.
Oh, it's a good save, isn't it?
Very good save, yeah. Brun-Larsen's joined the game.
Yes, it's 6 minutes of stoppage time. So we've got a bit to play in this first half. Corner kick for Burnley. And in towards the box it goes, hooked away by Tavernier. Vitinho, a bit of a 50p head though, isn't it? But he gets it back again, Vitinho, lays it away to the left-hand side. And now it's with Charlie Taylor. Trying to just find room for a cross, and does cross, header comes in over the bar. Vitinho it was, edge of the 6-yard box. Unmarked really in the end, I think, Paul, wasn't he? And his header's over the bar.
Yeah, Charlie Taylor's done ever so well. He's trying to get a yard just so he can whip a ball in, and the defender just thinks, well, I've got you here, you're not wrapping that around me, but somehow Charlie whips in a great ball, just dips just inside the 6-yard box, and it's Vitinho. Fofana's coming onto it. You think if there's a shout, Fofana's your man, but Vitinho just gets his head on it, but he can't get the direction.
Well, the 2 best chances that Burnley have created have come right at the end of the actually both in stoppage time. The free kick and that header then. The nearest that Burnley have come to drawing level since Bournemouth took the lead. It's still 1-0 to Bournemouth. And they have it on the left with Tavernier. And Kirchhoff will cross. That takes a deflection. And Bournemouth win a corner at the other end. There's Vitinho getting back to block it. And ball ricochets into the Bournemouth supporters, who have made the journey from the south coast to East Lancashire for a 1 o'clock start.
Set off yesterday.
Yeah. Oh dear, that's a bit of a stinker, isn't it? Corner kick for Bournemouth. First half stoppage time. In towards the box. Burnley get it away. Tavernier left foot volleys, but the volleys. Well, actually, it's not gone out of play somehow. It's spun back into play. And Taylor had to hook it out of play for a throw into to Bournemouth. Had quite a bit of backspin on it,
didn't it?
Yeah.
With a drop shot.
He was, yeah. So throw in for Bournemouth. We're in to a 6-minute added on period here. We're going to be hearing from Andy Bays and Dan Jewell and Brett Ormerod at half-time. We're going to be discussing the dismissal of John Coleman and Jimmy Bell, which happened this morning. Clearance from the back by Vitinho, it towards the centre circle. Zabarini with a clearance away. Semenyo has it again and goes back to Zabarini. He's been harassed by Audebert, but able to work it back to his goalkeeper, and Neto angles it away towards the left-hand side. Vitinho wins the header. Cullen on halfway trying to get to it. Here's Fofana, lays it to Vitinho on the right, galloping forward. Still has it, Coutinho, inside the 18-yard box, and in the end dispossessed by the left-back Kirchets. Throw into Burnley.
Unfortunate that, isn't it? He wasn't sure. He was in two minds whether to put the ball in the box or actually go himself. I think his first touch just took himself a bit wide. He needed to come across the defender, be really positive and get his body across it. But that little bit of it was a double touch, wasn't it? And just gave the Bournemouth defender the opportunity to clear his lines.
So a throw in for Burnley into the 18-yard box. And Bournemouth get it half away. It was Audebert. And comes a header from O'Shea. He wanted a free kick. The referee says get on with it. Bournemouth wallop it away. Trafford volleys it forward. Actually picks, whether it's intended or not, but he's picked out Fofana. And now it's with Coutinho, and he crosses, turned behind for a corner.
Great ball from Trafford. Superb volley. He looks very comfortable with his feet though, Trafford. Very, very composed, can ping the ball. On that occasion, that was a volley, first time volley, 40 yards straight to your man.
He's not meant that, has he?
Let's give the boy credit.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
He meant it.
Well, get him playing in centre midfield.
Exactly, yeah. You say that about the United goal, you know, should be playing in midfield.
Here's Audebert to Cullen. Corner kick works short. Back to Brun Larsen. To Audebert. Ball in towards the area. And Bournemouth get it clear. Audebert gets it again. He goes for goal. It's blocked. Then it's won. Here's Fofana. Essignon's in there as well. Essignon maybe working it out towards the far side. Then Taylor gets it right by the byline. Well, he's gone down. The Burnley fans want something, but none of the Burnley players did. Nobody in the Burnley shirt appealed, which is a bit of a clue. Back with James Trafford. He finds Esteve. Burnley don't really want half-time to come at the minute, but they're into the final minute of this additional 6.
Ooh.
And, well, they wanted another yellow card here. There's a foul on Esteve. There is a free kick, but the referee on this occasion says to Semenyo, maybe this is your last chance. He's just nudged him off the ball, doesn't he?
He has, yeah, and I think it's the right call. I think the referee's called it right. It's not another yellow card, but I like that the Clarets shirts are around the referee just to say, hey, referee, just one more then, on these last legs now, isn't he, really?
Yeah, oh, he is, yeah. One more and he's... I think he's probably done for. Right, this is the last bit of the first half. A free kick for Brun Larsen. Can they find something for them here? Can they win a header? Can something drop for Burnley? Can they get level? If not, we'll come back after 15 minutes in the second half. Brun Larsen's free kick in towards the box. Essignon flicks it on. He's kept in play by... Oh no, there's an offside flag, and that will be just about that. Once this free kick is... In fact, there's no time, I don't think, for the free kick to be taken. I think the referee's going to blow for half-time now. He is. So, 1-0 to Bournemouth at the break, Paul. What do you reckon?
Well, having not seen that much of Burnley this season, I'm guessing that pretty much sums up the season. They've huffed and puffed. In the middle of the pitch, I think they've looked fairly comfortable. They've had a lot of chances. They've not been ruthless enough in front of goal, but it looks like they're very vulnerable at the back. Bournemouth haven't had to do much to create opportunities, hence 1-0 down in a game they shouldn't really be 1-0 down.
Yeah, that sums Burnley's season up quite a lot.
Yeah, frustrating. It must be a hard watch at times, but there are lots of positives. You know, I do like the right back. I think he's getting forward nicely. He's linking up. Coutinho, who for me didn't play much in the Championship, playing more in the Premier League, which doesn't make sense. But he's looked lively today. He's looked lively on that right-hand side. We need to get Fofana in the game a little bit more, running behind. But yeah, the defence just does worry you. I think the back four is a bit of a concern. But the two full-backs, they're trying to get involved in the game. They're trying to join up with the midfielders and the forward players. But, you know, you can't question the desire, the want to win from this team. They're still having a good go. They've not let the heads dropped. So still lots of positives. There's still a big 45 to play.
There is. It is seriously significant 45 minutes if Burnley are going to try and get something from this match and try and salvage their season, really. But Bournemouth do lead by a goal to nil at half-time here on BBC Radio Lancashire. It's almost 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, live football for you, and that's through until 3 o'clock today. We've got the second half to come in the next 15 minutes or so. During half-time now, we're going to reflect on this decision taken by Accrington Stanley. They have sacked this morning the second longest serving manager in the English Football League. This is John Coleman and his assistant Jimmy Bell, both dismissed by Accrington Stanley this morning. In 2 spells with the club, they've had more than 22 years service with Stanley. Well, our sports editor Andy Bays has been speaking to former Stanley striker Brett Ormrod and first our reporter Dan Jewell, who saw their game yesterday. Dan was asked if the timing of the pair's departure came as a surprise.
Not really the timing of it, if I'm honest, Andy. The performance at Wrexham was very poor. They were 4-0 down at half-time, and the damage probably could have been worse in the sense that lots of mistakes and the quality of Wrexham's team and squad really shone through. Stanley's run of recent form, they've only won 3 games in this calendar year. They've taken something like 5 points from the last 21 that are available. So times have been tough. There are plenty of mitigating factors for that. The number of players that Accrington Stanley have been without, and John Coleman actually said before this Wrexham game that if you were to take any team in football or any squad in football and take out their top 7 or 8 earners for a long period of the season, then that team would struggle, whoever they are. And that's certainly been the case for Accrington both this season and last season. It's, of course, a surprise given what John Coleman and Jimmy Bell have done for Accrington Stanley in the past and the success that they've had and the regard that they're held in, not just by Accrington Stanley supporters, but by people in football and the general football watching public. They were out of contract in the summer, and there were lots of questions, and it was actually something we were discussing on the Matchday Social after the Wrexham game this weekend about what happens in that summer period and who might be in charge and how you can get players committing their future when you don't know who's going to be in charge. So in a football sense, in a recent form sense, and in a sort of background mood music that we've heard an awful lot coming out of the club and around the club in recent weeks and months, it's not a huge surprise. But the fact that this has actually happened and we've actually seen it develop and come to a head with John and Jimmy leaving their jobs, it is always going to be a shock, I think, to anyone who's got even a passing interest in League Two and Accrington Stanley.
Brett Ormrod, more than 22 years service in 2 spells for John Coleman and Jimmy Bell. This is going to take some getting used to with somebody else managing them, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the end of an era. I mean, what they've done for Accrington, John and Jimmy, when they first got the job many moons ago, and where they've took the club. We've started with Eric Worley and various chairmen down and finishing with Andy Holt, and with the pinnacle for me from winning the Division 2 in 2017, wasn't it? So it's a very rare thing now, I think, in football. You'll not get, in this day and age, I don't think you'll get managers like your John and Jimmy's and your Sir Alex Ferguson and things like that, because it's just not the way the game is now. Everyone wants quick results, it's a quick orientated business, a couple of losses and you're out of job now. So I think we're seeing the last of what is a golden era in management, I think.
Do you think it was generally accepted that John and Jimmy would not be in charge next season, and it was a case of the timing?
Yeah, and you know what? And it's sad to see, let's be fair. I mean, because I think John, Jimmy and Andy Holt, I think they've made a fantastic partnership. Andy's come in and put his money where his mouth is. He's done everything he can to try and make Accrington Stanley a viable business. That's what he does. He's not just someone who's going to come in and a quick fix. He's not someone who's just going to chuck money in it and walk away. It's the first time, I think, that from an Accrington point of view, there's been that stability, especially since they've been back in the Football League. I mean, the ground, it's a fantastic football ground now. They've got a training ground, the facilities, the corporate, you look at every aspect of that football club, and Andy Holt has took it to another level. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it, the relationship broke down between John, Jimmy and Andy, and it is a shame because it was such a successful partnership. I mean, the corporate's called Coley, so, it's an appreciation to it. I think even the more optimistic fan thought it might all come to a head with John and Jimmy not having the contracts renewed, or that Andy Holt would sell the club. It'd be interesting to see what Andy does now in that sense. It's a shame. But football is about results. It's a results business, and now it's happened. I think they've got to move on and look to the future. But like I said, if Andy gets the right money, maybe he'll change his mind about selling the football club. On a personal level, I certainly hope he does, because I think he's been an absolute, saint for Accrington. I understand it costs a lot of money, and it's his own hard-earned money. He's put into that football club. It's not corporate money or things like that. It's his own money, and and I think the Accrington fans certainly appreciate that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from now.
And I think, Andy, the only thing I can add to that really is that I don't think you'll see too many situations in football where a management team are out of contract in the summer and there still hasn't been even talk of contract renewals or negotiations, and we made it into March. So I think I probably would have been more surprised if John Coleman and Jimmy Bell had been given new contracts to run from this year, even if it was a one-year deal or whatever it might have been, than if it came to the end of the season and they left. I think, and Brett touched upon it a little bit there, I think what is sad about this situation is that John Coleman and Jimmy Bell now won't get the opportunity to say thank you and goodbye, support, who a lot of them have been with them for 20 odd years. And many of them, if we're being honest, probably wouldn't be Accrington Stanley fans without what John Coleman and Jimmy Bell have done across their two spells. And hopefully there will be some way that allows them to connect with that fan base and those supporters, regardless of whether they feel this is the right decision or the wrong decision. But if they had the opportunity to go to the end of the season, or they knew that a game was going to be their final game or whatever, then we might have been able to see a little bit more in the way of recognition and thanks to the duo and what they've done for the football club.
Dan, which achievement out of all of them stands out the most, would you say, that John Coleman and Jimmy Bell will probably treasure the most and is the most memorable from a reporting perspective for you?
Well, I know that John Coleman will tell you that the first title, the Unibond First Division, was the one that was most significant to him. And it's because the dynamic was so very different. Accrington were a big fish in a small pond, having just been relegated to that level of football. They were able to get in the players that they wanted to get in. There was a lot of pressure on them, and it didn't go particularly well in the first instance. And I think they expected the late, great Eric Worley to send them on their way in that first season at one point, and they got over the line and they managed to win that title, and the rest, as they say, is history. I couldn't personally choose between winning the conference and winning League Two. It was done in slightly different ways, but there were some parallels. But that dynamic had changed by then. And even in the conference, Accrington had one of the lower budgets. They were one of the unfancied teams, and they managed to streak away at the top and win it and bring about that return to the Football League. And those scenes at Walking's Kingfield Stadium where it was confirmed, and seeing what it meant to people like Eric Worley and Jack Barrett, that's the historic moment for the football club. And that's what John Coleman and Jimmy Bell will probably go down in the record books for. But Brett alluded to it earlier, that 17-18 season and winning League Two, when nobody gave Accrington a chance. And even in the run-in through these months of the season, March, April, May, everybody in football outside of that Accrington camp felt that the wheels would come off, felt that Luton would catch them and overhaul them, and Stanley would get thrown back into the playoffs. And they just went from strength to strength. And I think the greatest legacy, actually, of Coleman and Bell will probably be that Accrington Stanley has become a destination that young footballers can go to relaunch their careers, because so many have been signed late teens, early 20s, who've been left on the scrap heap, who've been released, who've had many clubs and it's not worked out for them. And you have a couple of years at Accrington Stanley, you have success, you re-find your way, and you end up going back up the pyramid, back up towards the top. And you only need to look at Jordan Clark at the moment, who Accrington signed on a free transfer on the day the team photo was taken. That was how close it was to the start of the season, who's now a Premier League footballer with Luton Town. And there's a big list of players in this second spell who've gone on and are playing at a higher level and have brought Accrington Stanley some serious revenue in. People like Jackson and Bishop and Charles and Burgess, who've all earned transfer fees for Accrington Stanley. So I think the perception of the football club from 1999, the first time that they took charge, and now has changed immeasurably. And I'm sure we're going to go on to talk about this, but this next managerial appointment just feels absolutely enormous.
Well, that is key. The statement that has come out from Accrington Stanley this morning, and we're speaking here Sunday morning just after 11, that we might hear more from them throughout the day and possibly going into tomorrow. There is no mention of who takes the team for the game against Bradford next Saturday afternoon. Whether this is going to be an interim appointment for the remainder of the season, whether or not it is someone they've got in mind who can come in, very straightforward. Brett Ormerod, when you look at it, it's always been said that Accrington Stanley is a unique football club and does things in a different fashion to others. Firstly, is that true in your opinion? And secondly, will some managers just not be the right fit for Accrington Stanley, even if they put their CV in?
I think it is important for all clubs to get the right man at the right time. So it'll be interesting. Will they make an appointment straight, unless he's got someone that perhaps they've been looking at for a couple of weeks or making inquiries? I'm not so sure. I'd be more inclined to think they'll have an interim manager until the end of the season, until they actually sort out whether the issue of whether he wants to sell the club now or keep progressing with it. Because like you said, like Dan said earlier, it's hard to get players who are coming to end of the contract to commit to a football club if they don't know who the manager's going to be and what the ambition of the football club is and what direction they see this all going.
Danjul, the statement is brief. I think you could actually call it very brief on the departure of John Coleman and Jimmy Bell, to the tune that we're not seeing all the reasons behind the departures of John and Jimmy. And we're also not seeing at this moment in time who is in charge going forward, who's taking training tomorrow morning, for example. From where you understand, do you think that it will be internal from now on? John Doolan's name hasn't been mentioned at all, so it would suggest that he remains on the payroll, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and in this situation, I'd rather feel for John Doolan, who is just an employee of Accrington Stanley, and although has been associated with John and Jimmy for the years preceding that League Two title win, has turned up, done his job every day, and been the first team coach and made a massive difference. But he's not mentioned at all, so we have to assume that he is still going to be part of the Accrington Stanley operation, at least in the short term. There has been a very large emphasis in recent weeks on the club's youth system. So many young players have been involved in the team. The average age of Stanley's starting 11 in recent weeks has been around the 21, 22 mark, and that's often included a player like Kelvin Mellor at 33 will bring that average age up. A lot of the club's marketing around next season and season tickets has been around young players and the next generation, and a lot of these players, as Brett mentioned, Conor O'Brien being one of them, and there's a group of 19, 20-year-olds that have been getting a lot of first-team game time. That would suggest to me that there is a lot of faith from within in the club's youth system and in the hierarchy that's already in place within the club's academy department. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the short to medium term we see some individuals who are involved in that structure involved in the day-to-day running of the Accrington Stanley first team. There are some parallels. John Coleman and Jimmy Bell have left Accrington Stanley before in 2012 when they went to take over at Rochdale. Admittedly, Andy Holt was not the owner then, and Andy Holt and his managing director, David Burgess, have not appointed a first-team manager in their time with the club. But when Coleman and Bell left in 2012, it was a combination of a couple of senior players in Liam Richardson and Brian Hughes, and the head of the academy, Phil Hackney, who took the team in the short term until a permanent appointment was made, which was when Paul Cook arrived. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar.
That is Dan Jewell with former Stanley striker Brett Ormerod and Andy Bays reflecting on the news today that Accrington Stanley have sacked John Coleman and Jimmy Bell. Further reaction on social media at BBC Lanc Sport, and obviously tomorrow night on our post-match programme from 6 we'll be reflecting back on that as well. It does bring the end to an era. I mean, Coleman and Bell are Stanley, aren't they? But I guess eventually these things do happen.
It's becoming though, isn't it? There's
yeah.
the talk by this. They weren't happy not being offered a contract, and Andy Holt's been quite vocal. For me, they were not going to be there at the end of the season. It's not quite happening right now. They took a heavy defeat yesterday, so yeah, I'm not surprised by it at all. They need to get a new man in there ASAP, because if Andy does still want to sell the club, he needs to have a good manager in there. So they need to climb the table and keep improving his investment and keep the worth of the club up there.
Indeed. So as I say, we'll reflect back on that a little. And plenty more on tomorrow night's programme.
Sorry,
sure through the week.
what have I just witnessed?
So, Bournemouth, go on.
Are we at Townley Park? Have we just moved?
Go on, you describe. Hang on, let's deal with this. Here's Tavernier on the left-hand side, crossing towards the 18-yard box, blocked by Assignon. Bournemouth have it again with Kirchek, right down by the corner flag. He's trying to get away from Assignon. There's one. Actually, no, it's a goal kick. A goal kick for Burnley. Paul Weather, what did you just see at kick-off?
So the kick-off has gone back to the edge of the circle. The player has flicked it up, and he has just basically done a Peter Kay moment and said, "Have it." He has launched it 50 yards in the air, 50 yards forward, 30, 40 yards forward, under the noses of our centre halves, and said, "Right, go on then, deal with that." A Premier League football at its best.
Semino it was. A couple of kicky uppies and a,
Wow.
and a Peter Kay have it moment.
Yeah, hasn't he? I can't believe I've just seen that.
Yeah, it's unusual. It's O'Shea with the header back to the goalkeeper Trafford. Bournemouth have made a change, by the way, at half-time. Ryan Christie's gone off, and on for Bournemouth, Alex Scott is a change that they've made at half-time. So 45 minutes. Is it too dramatic to say 45 minutes to save their season? Is that a bit over the top? Or is that... Okay.
No, it is. You know, another defeat. If you don't save it today, it's another defeat. You're going into. I know we're talking about on paper. Yeah, they are easier games, but West Ham and Brentford still tough opponents.
Yep.
But if you want to stay in the Premier League, you've got to beat these people. You've got to start picking up points. And today is vital that we do that.
Okay. I don't want to be accused of being over the top, being too dramatic, but maybe it is 45 minutes to save their season. Here's Solanke on the right-hand side. He slips. And Burnley have got possession again, knocked up towards Fofana, lays it off to Audebert. Vitinho's on the charge down the right, but doesn't get it. Cullen finds O'Shea, back to Josh Cullen. 48th minute of the game, early parts of the second half. Burnley 0, Bournemouth 1. You're listening to BBC Radio Lancashire, and it's live from Turf Moor for our Sunday afternoon fare, with a busy day yesterday, plenty of football across Saturday's Matchday Live. It was a real mixed bag of results for us yesterday, including that hammering for Stanley at Wrexham. Offside flag up here, so a free kick for Bournemouth, and a free kick kind of midway inside their own half. If you missed any of the fallout from Saturday's games, again at BBC Lanc Sport you'll find some post-match videos and reaction from the managers and stuff like that. There's Taylor with the header forward, flicked on by Brun Larson. Now Audebert finds Brun Larson, gives it back to Wilson Audebert, who's down the left-hand side and then just drifting in field and trying to roll it in towards Fofana. The ball might ricochet to Vitinho. Do well to keep it in play, and he doesn't. A valiant effort by Vitinho, but it just ran away from him. It's a goal kick instead.
Yeah, it's good positive play from Audebert, wasn't it? Trying to get that ball into the striker's feet. Fofana didn't hold his run. He just went a little bit too earlier, so the ball was just behind him. Again, at the moment, starting off on the front foot, looking to get at this Bournemouth side.
Audebert is a threat, isn't he, for Burnley? He likes to run with the ball, which is quite handy. But isn't it? It
is, absolutely, yeah. He's just playing in a different position today, though, isn't he? Normally he's out wide, he's causing havoc on the wings. But today the manager's mixed it up a little bit, left Amdouni on the bench and said to Audebert, go on, and you've got a bit of a free roll in there, you know, because we're playing a different system to last year. Last year we played one holding midfielder, which predominantly was Cork, and we had Cullen and Brownhill that pushed right on, and sometimes we're in the front three up, you know, in a front five, if you will. But now we have more two sitting midfielders and one that just plays off that striker.
Sander Berg. And now it's with Brun Larson to Audebert inside the D. Ball back to Cullen. He has a go and it's blocked. And Bournemouth will escape with the ball and will potentially carry it up towards the halfway line. They do. It's a Cook who looks for Tavernier. Assignon intercepts. Had a play for a throw into Bournemouth. Just on the halfway line. I mentioned this last week. There's only one team in the Premier League this season that have dropped more points from winning positions than Burnley, and that is Brentford. But interestingly, in terms of dropping points from winning positions away from home, Bournemouth have done that more than anybody else this year. So this is not unfamiliar that they're in front away from home, Bournemouth. But they do have a habit of dropping points away from home when they're in front. 12 points have dropped from winning positions away from home this season. Throw in for Bournemouth. Midway inside the Burnley half. It's back with Lewis Cook. Closed down by Cullen. Cook keeping possession. It's back now with Neto, the Bournemouth goalkeeper, and Fofana goes to close him down. Played down the middle of the pitch. O'Shea gets up and wins the header. It's flicked on by Kluivert to Scott, and he carries it forward. Sander Berg right alongside him. He's done well, Scott, to keep his balance. Sander Berg gets in and says, "I'll win it back," and does. And Burnley win a throw-in on the far side. Goodbye.
Got a bit nervy there, didn't we, watching Berg run back with him. He was fighting him and fighting him. He goes down in the area. The first one, the referee could have pulled him back possibly for that one, but he never gave up, Sander Berg, never gave up. And in the end, he's just out really muscled him, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a big lad, isn't he, Sander Berg? You think he might be able to...
use his strength a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Which I think it wouldn't be unreasonable to suggest he hasn't done that at times this season. I'm assuming we're waiting for the VAR check on the penalty, but which we were, and it's all been cleared. So it will be a throw-in. Yeah, I spoke to him about 2 months ago, interviewed him after a game 2 months ago, and he walked into the radio room downstairs and he filled it. You know what I mean? He's like blind, he's massive.
Well, next to you. Everyone's big, aren't they?
I've missed you, not.
Even I'm like a Jolly Green Giant next to you.
I don't know what you're seeing in the mirror. It's a clearance from Smith. It's out of play for a throw on the far side to Burnley. I mean, it doesn't necessarily always equate that if you're a big lad on the pitch, you can put it about a bit, does it?
No, Glenn Little thought he was hard, but he wasn't.
Yeah, case in point, 7 Little. Yeah. I'll tell you what, big lads, we had Peter Swan as the half-time guest. Yeah.
He was a big lad when he Swanee.
Aye, he wasn't shy of a tackle or two. There's O'Shea.
He came back for a second stint at Burnley and played up front. Remember, Stan brought him back because he was playing up front for Bury. What a lad, great lad, Swanee.
There's Sander Berg inside the centre circle. Finds Estev. And gets it back again to Brun Larsen. I remember getting sent off in a match. It may have been at Reading. And I can't, it may have been at Reading, but I remember speaking to Stan after the game about it, and he described it, the tackle by Swan, as being a bit agricultural. O'Shea down the right side looking for Fofana. Pulls it back to Assignon. Vitinho lets it run through to Cullen, gets it back again, Vitinho. And then Bournemouth can clear. And not back towards Trafford. Estev takes over. 54 minutes played in this Premier League game between Burnley and Bournemouth. It's 1-0 to Bournemouth. Goodness, it's a really significant 35 minutes we've got coming up. I mean, every defeat now is a costly defeat, but in a game like this, where Burnley would think they could have a chance of a result, it's another nail, isn't it, in the relegation coffin. 11 points from safety coming into this fixture.
I just worry about this shape though. Cullen's getting on the ball and he's looking up and he's literally seeing 6 claret shirts in a line up against their back 6. There's no movement, there's no one running beyond, there's no one coming short. It's a little bit, what do you want Cullen to do now with the ball? You need to mix it up a little bit. There needs to be more movement up there. Sometimes you need to come deep, create the space in behind. We saw it first half. Fofana came short. The space was in behind. He ran into the space and we nearly got through. And at the moment, it just looks like we're all just trying to get forward and just lumping it in there.
It's Taylor with a header away. Sander Berg gets up and wins it. Estev to Taylor. Infield to Cullen. He lays it off. It's back with a yellow and blue Bournemouth shirt. It's with Smith. Now it's on that far side. Semenyo trying to bring it away. 2 or 3 Burnley players around him. Clarets do win it back. Everybody behind the ball for Bournemouth. Almost everybody inside their own half. Well, they were for a second until Clivert just came over the halfway line. Almost every single player in the pitch is in one half of the one half. There's Essignon to bring it down, and Vitinho just slips at the crucial moment, and now it's played forward and the flag's down for now, and Clivert's through on goal and he squares it to Solanke. It's a bit out wide, but Solanke gets to it, and Trafford with a good save, and Tavernier picks up the loose ball. A better ball by Clivert, and Solanke's properly in. Still have it, Bournemouth near side. Here's Clivert coming infield. Semenyo lays it off. Shot comes into the side netting. Goal kick.
What a goal that would have been. A lovely diagonal ball from Clivert out there, just cushioned from the wide player. He's just literally a nice side foot into the path of, not sure who the runner was, but it was a superb run. I think Tavernier, was it?
I think it's Tavernier,
yeah. It was a lovely run, a great first touch, but he just couldn't finish it. That would have been a wonderful goal from Bournemouth.
And then just before that, Paul, the chance for Solanke.
Yeah, absolutely. They're set up for a counter-attack, aren't they, Bournemouth? They're getting numbers behind. They're just waiting for that opportunity, and when they get the ball, they just literally all burst forward in numbers.
It's Trafford with the save. It's probably a save you'd expect him to make, isn't it? But still, he's done his job there. Burnley goalkeeper, who has it again, plays it forward to Cullen. Drop back to Trafford. It was a dodgy ball by Trafford last weekend that did for Brownhill for his second yellow card. There's Fofana. Vitinho didn't quite break for him, and it's won by Kirchek. His clearance only as far as Assignon, and Burnley do win a throw-in on the near side here at Turf Moor, edging towards the hour mark. Still trailing by a goal to nil, Burnley. O'Shea goes back to the goalkeeper again. Spends most of the game inside his own half, Trafford. It's so far out of his 18-yard box, but that's the way he's been asked to play by his manager. He wants him to be another outfield player almost. Sander Berg to Esteve. Now Cullen. Well, he's knocked it down the channel, but he was under a bit of pressure there. He wants to come off a Bournemouth man, so Burnley do have a throw-in. They have taken it quickly. Josh Cullen to Sander Berg. O'Shea on the right, and Assignon on this near touchline. It's with O'Shea, chips it in towards the box, eased away by Zabareni, the centre half for Bournemouth. Now Cullen gets it again, and it's Taylor to Esteve, and he goes back to Trafford. Trafford to Berg inside the centre circle, does well, he's away from a couple of Bournemouth players, still has it Sander Berg, and rolls it out to the left from Brun Larsen, who's at the edge of the 18-yard box. Back with Berg, across to Taylor, maybe he'll swing it in, he does, and the header by Zabarini to clear for Bournemouth, but Sander Berg seen quite a bit of the ball recently. Keeps possession by finding O'Shea. He comes down the right hand side. Here's Assignon now, level with the 18-yard box, has it, comes infield, still in possession, rolls it to Audebert, now to Cullen. Audebert to Cullen, and Cullen to Vitinho, and Vitinho crosses, and it's just a fraction in front, falls to Wilson Audebert. He seemed to take an age to get a shot away.
He had a touch, and he did need to have a touch. He needed to go first time, but this is much better from Burnley. They're being very, very patient. They're using the width, and they're being very composed on the ball.
Taylor then to Brun Larsen, now down the left side to Audebert. Back to Charlie Taylor. Fofana, he's knocked it round the one side of the defender, but the ball spins out of play, and it's a goal kick for Bournemouth away to our right-hand side. But well, that was an encouraging little passage of play, wasn't it?
It is, yeah, much better. They've got the ball in the box, and the ball was headed out by, I think it was chested out by a Bournemouth player in the end, but it's fallen just on the penalty spot for was it Audebert? Yeah, it was Audebert that had the opportunity, but not being a natural striker, natural finisher, he had a touch, and then he had another touch, and then the moment had gone.
Still, they have a 1-0 lead, Bournemouth, to protect. It's not been a happy hunting ground here for them. One win in 14 matches at Turf Moor. Burnley trying to extend that rather shaky run, but got half an hour left to find at least a goal, and ideally two. Trafford to O'Shea, closed down on this near side, and the clearance comes out of play for a throw-in, comes off Tavernier, so it's a throw-in for Burnley, which Assignon takes, rolls it back to O'Shea. It goes long towards the halfway line. In comes O'Shea again, wins the header, out of play. Throw in for Bournemouth. Midway inside the Burnley half. Back it goes to Chris Memphis, and then back to the goalkeeper Neto. And Burnley's options off the bench today, should Vincent Kompany want to try and change it, include Jack Cork and Johan Gudmundsson, Jay Rodriguez, Manuel Benson, Zeki Amdouni, who's been a regular really for Burnley over the last few months, Mike Trezor, all forward players. Here's Cullen, he goes for goal, and the keeper low to his left makes the save. It remains 1-0.
So basically out of that lot, Benson and Amdouni, they're who we need on that pitch. Game changers to come and liven things up a little bit for us. Yeah,
Amdouni's been the one that's kind of played just off the striker for, well, the majority of the last couple of months anyway. Benson's barely featured. He came off the bench at Palace last week. I think prior to that he'd had 7 minutes of Premier League football all season.
This game is set up nicely for him. Just come out on this right-hand side. I'm not saying Vitinho's had a bad game. He's done okay, to be fair to the lad, but I think now just let Benson come and hug this touchline, get Amdouni off the striker, maybe put Audebert on the left. Just mix it up a little bit now. There's what we've still got, about half an hour to go.
Yeah, there's a little bit of movement on the bench. And two players are potentially preparing to come on here. And we have just got under half an hour to go, plus stoppage time. Oh, it's building patiently down their left-hand side, but Semenyo with the clearance. It's a big high boot over the halfway line, one for Solanke to watch.
He likes those balls, doesn't he?
He does like the old up and under.
Big fan of Peter Kay, isn't he?
The referee's seen a foul there, and it's going to be a free kick for Bournemouth. Wasn't really much in it, but a bit of a 50-50. Referee says foul, free kick for Bournemouth. Well, there's a few changes potentially being prepared here. And two bodies emerging from the dugout on the far side. So Vincent Kompany's watched it for 15 minutes and he's thinking maybe this is the time. There's a free kick to defend first. Oh, it's not a great one. It's given away. Burnley can break here. Can they use it well? Here's Brun Larsen. There were two breaking forward. Just couldn't seem to get the ball to them quick enough. Vitinho does really well to get to it and take it forward for Burnley down the right. Still has it. And then it's hammered out of play for a throw into Burnley.
Well, free kicks go. That was a pretty poor one from Bournemouth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They set Burnley on the counter-attack.
It did. Yeah, it did. It is Amdouni. He's one of the potential, well, it's definitely Amdouni coming on, but I thought there may have been more, but for the time being looks like just a one change. Fofana has it for the Clarets, and then it's hooked into the box by Assignon away by Bournemouth. It's a throw in on this near side. Back to O'Shea. He was asked a couple of questions about Amdouni on Friday. There was a reporter from Switzerland, which is where Amdouni's from, who had come across to do a big feature on him. So he spoke to the player, and then the journalist was in the press conference speaking to the manager, and he asked Vincent Kompany about Amdouni, and he was really reluctant to talk about him. And he's on the bench today. It's probably the reason why.
He's reluctant to talk about a lot of things, Vincent, isn't he? Is this a must-win game? Well, I don't really want to speak about it.
It's Cullen. Back to Esteve, and now it's with Sander Berg. Taylor back to Berg. Cullen. Oh, he's got a round Solanke, who fell to the ground, still with Josh Cullen, looking for Fofana inside the box. Now Vitinho out wide. Vitinho crosses, back post. Who's there? Cullen! 1-1!
Foul.
Oh, is he given a foul? Yeah, he's ruled that out for a foul. I think it's the fullback, isn't it? Smith, who's down. So the referee reckons there's a foul in there and a free kick. But they've scored, obviously, so VAR will look at it and see whether or not the referee's made a mistake. We've yet to see a replay.
Great bit of play. I thought Cullen done ever so well. They managed to get the ball out to Vitinho. He dunked it a little dink to the back stick, and no, that's not a foul for me.
But is that enough for them to overturn it?
What's he done? Oh. What's the defender doing though? He's diving. He's hit himself in the face.
Yeah, they're not going to overturn that.
No, they're not. No, that's poor.
But it's one of those, Paul, where if he doesn't give it,
yeah, they're not going to overturn it the other way.
Yeah.
It's referee's decision, isn't it? Yeah, that sums it up, doesn't it? When you're at the bottom of the league, when you're down there fighting, you just need that little bit of luck. That referee just to see it slightly different. The Bournemouth defender has had the ball in his face, and he's thrown his arms in the air and landed on the floor. Brilliant. Was it Brun Larsen that's just behind him? He's not really done too much wrong there, so it's a bit of a soft one.
It is a bit of a soft one, yeah. But he just not going to overturn them. Now the referee is reaching for his pocket to brandish a yellow card here towards Tavernier.
Has he gone over the top here? The Burnley players,
he had
7 or 8 around him. The referee, they're not happy here. Has he gone over the top?
Let's have a look.
Ooh. He's gone over the top, but he's not actually caught the player, as that makes sense. He's not actually got him, so he's lucky boy. If that's just a little bit to the right, that's right in the middle of his shin. So I think that's a good call from the ref.
I agree.
So he's only had one bad one this half, ref. This is only one bad one.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. Amdouni's still waiting to come on, by the way.
I'm assuming it's got to be Brun Larsen. Odebear out to the left. What we think he's got.
Well, he's been more effective, hasn't he, Odebear, than Brun Larsen?
Yeah, he's been a bit quiet, Brun Larsen. He had obviously the great free kick.
Unless he takes off one of the 2 right backs that he's got on the pitch. One of them's just been booked, Vitinho.
What's that for?
I presume for complaining that it's not more than the yellow card.
So in the future, that's going to be a blue card, isn't it? There you go and watch for 10 minutes.
This, yeah.
We have it at North West Counties.
Do you?
Simbin, 10 minutes, yeah.
I never knew that was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
So Brun Larsen has gone off and Amdouni's come on. So there's a Simbin rule in... I didn't realise that.
Yeah. Oh, it's comical. You should come. Honestly. Referees ain't got a clue as it is. And they start dishing out dissent and they're swearing, there's all sorts going on, and then someone waves their arms around and gets Simbined and... Oh, it's...
What is it, 10 minutes?
Yeah, it's 10 minutes. Yeah.
So you can't make a change or anything?
No, you can't do nothing. No, honestly, it's absolute calamity.
Free kick for Burnley. Trafford takes it.
They struggle with red and yellows, throwing in blues as well. My God.
Yeah, I heard this on the radio. Is it actually going to come through this, or is this what's being discussed?
They don't dish out blue cards. They just go with the yellow and say, right, off you go.
Right, for 10 minutes.
So you don't know if the yellow is for just a yellow or if it's for Simbin or what it is eventually until you see a player walking off.
Oh God.
But it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's not just happened to us. It's happened against the teams we're playing as well. And you think, what's he walking off the pitch for? He's going to have a 10-minute break.
It's Vitinho for Burnley. Ball deflects back to Sander Berg, and now it's with Amdouni on off the bench in this kind of central position where he likes, and he's won Burnley a free kick.
He's under pressure now, the referee, isn't he? Is anything that's 50-50 is going in our way because his players are getting at him, the crowd are getting at him a little bit. He's under a bit of pressure.
He is a bit. 70 minutes gone. Who is David Coote, the referee, and the video assistant referee is Jared Gillett. And the assistant video assistant referee, don't forget about the assistant video assistant referee, is Tim Wood. Quite a few officials, aren't there, in these Premier League games now?
Still get it wrong.
Free. Just teeing you up for that. Free kick for Burnley, in towards the box. Fofana gets up and wins a header, but it's cleared away. And there's Cullen away to the left-hand side. Essignon on to Charlie Taylor. Taylor's cross falls to Essignon. He's done well to get to it, actually, and he wins a corner kick. He plays it off the midfielder, Alex Scott, to a corner for Burnley. Done well there, Essignon, to get to that ball from Taylor. Right, corner kick. They've taken it short. Audebert to Cullen. Now Amdouni. Back in field to Audebert. Just runs away from him. He's gone down. Well, there's a couple appealing for that. Charlie Taylor has. Play continues. And Burnley with a bit of defending to do, but they've dealt with it through Patino. And now it's back with Assignon. Here is O'Shea. O'Shea plays it forward. One for Fofana to try and chase, and gets to it actually. Rolls it off the Bournemouth defender. Out comes the goalkeeper, and he smothers the ball. Oh, nuts, here we go. Let's have a look at this replay. He may have potentially just caught his boot there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
Not a lot in there, is there?
No, there isn't.
Not a lot. After 55 replays, we're still not seeing enough. But yeah, if it was someone else, they'd probably be a Stonewall penalty. That.
Substitution being made here by Bournemouth. So they're going to make a change. The game back in November, Paul, down at Bournemouth, Clivert's going off the goal scorer, and Philip Billings coming on. The game at Bournemouth, Paul, was stopped for something like 8 minutes while they looked at an offside. It was, I mean, it's the worst VAR experience I've had, and there's been a few shockers, but that was right up. I mean, 8-minute delay while they worked out whether someone was offside or not for a goal.
Were you annoyed because you needed to get back up the M6? Is that what you were thinking?
Absolutely, yeah. It's got a 6-hour drive. Get on with it. Oh, and then they drew the lines on incorrectly. It was a farce.
Oh.
Bournemouth laid off to this near side. Kirchek potentially might put a ball. He will put a ball in here with a bit of pace in towards the back post. It's too high for Solanke, but they've still got it on the far. Semino has it, and he puts it in towards the area. Too high for everybody. It's gone behind for a goal kick, which Trafford will take. 73 minutes played.
Right, where's this little magician? We need to get him on the pitch.
He's sat on the bench, isn't he? Oh no, he's not. He's warming up.
Right, he's no tracky bottoms. It's just his shorts.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it could be imminent. Manuel Benson.
The crowd have got a wind of it.
Haven't they? Yeah, they have.
Yeah. Vincent's listening to BBC Lancs, isn't he?
He's got his earpiece in.
Yes.
Weller says bring him on.
He heard I was back.
Here's Solanke, flags up for an offside. So a free kick for Burnley. Yeah, Benson's going to get introduced. He'll get a good reception when he comes on. He's a bit of a favourite. He's barely played. Assignon. Now that breaks for him. Carries it up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. He's walloped it across the 18-yard box, but it's gone behind for a goal kick.
He's done really well to pick up that second ball and really get at the defence. He just got a bit carried away with himself just as he got to the edge of the area. Not sure whether to just feed Patino and let him do that. But yeah, it's a bit of a raspy cross in the end.
Right, Manuel Benson's coming on in a minute for 15 minutes to try and make an impact. Doesn't look like Jay Rodriguez is coming on. He's sat with his big jacket on. Fofana for you, has he done all right? Actually, we'll come back to that. Here's Solanke on the right. Ball in towards the box, shot comes in. Oh, Semenyo it was with the effort. Goodness, it wasn't far away from 2-0 and being the game. And he slid it wide behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a good play, wasn't it? Got out to the right-hand side. They've just fed it into literally the penalty spot area for Semenyo to come onto. But there's a couple of players putting him under a lot of pressure and force the error.
Well, the applause is for Manuel Benson. At least it's going to get everybody excited. It's got everybody off their feet, hasn't it? It's got people stood up and excited about the prospect of seeing Benson come on.
He's there. Are they not going to put a board up?
Oh, no, he's having to tying his boots up. Oh, here we go. He's doing his boots up.
Coutinho.
Is that how you reckon?
Yeah, that's what I saw 22.
Oh, right. You could have fooled me then and pretended that you...
Well, that's where he's going to go and play, but, you know, it's harsh on Coutinho because I think he's done okay today.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think he's been quite effective.
Yeah.
This is cleared away by Trafford. And Dooney heads it on. Vitinho, perhaps his final touch to head it forward towards Fofana. That's played out towards the right-hand side. Semenyo has it inside the 18-yard box. Comes in field, goes for goal, and again just drags it wide. Twice he's almost killed the game off, and on both occasions he's put it wide.
Yeah, just past the post. But here comes the little man. This left in the place. This is who they've come to see today.
Gets a terrific reception. A real favourite from last season, but like many, has featured pretty rarely this year. The odd little appearance off the bench here and there, but that's been about it. For a man that scored the goal at Ewa Park to win the title.
He'll retire after that, can't he?
I don't think he needs to buy dinner or a beer in Burnley, does he? Again.
That's it, game over.
Yeah, he's...
just retire.
He's got a free tab for the rest of his life in the Wetherspoons in the town centre. But only in the Wetherspoons where it's cheap. Esteve back to Trafford. Not at the end of the wharf, it's too expensive. Only joking. There's Trafford inside the 18-yard box. Clearance over the halfway line. It's going to come back into the Burnley box. Burnley half rather. Assion's gone down, so it's going to be a free kick. Got to get him on the ball, haven't you, Paul, now?
Oh, referee. We're taking a quick free kick and it's the wrong blade of grass again. They've got to get Benson on the ball here now, though. Just here he is. He's here. Just pass it to him. There you go. That's it.
Gets a cheer for receiving the ball. Gets a boo for knocking it back to O'Shea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
13 minutes played. 13 minutes rather to go. Burnley 0, Bournemouth 1. Assion caught in possession. And then adjudged to a foul. He's got a bit of a flair about it, a bit of a temperament about him. Yeah, he's not shy of reacting, shall we say.
Don't mind a bit of that.
Okay.
Don't mind a bit of that. Started to go out the game a little bit, isn't it? It's all nicey-nicey. You need someone to ignite things. When you ignite things like that, you get the crowd going as well. You get your teammates going. If your right back's prepared to mix it up a little bit, okay, have a little handshake afterwards, but get in their face, cause a bit of a ruck. Just lifts the atmosphere. All of a sudden you can feel it around the place. Well,
he's definitely got that about him, Assignon. He's not shy of reacting and getting stuck in, and it's quite dramatic in his body language. Theatrical. There's Solanke. 12 to play, 1-0 to Bournemouth. Burnley, oh goodness, desperate to find a goal here, try and get something from the match. And they have it with Odebear on the left-hand side. Alex Scott running back alongside him. Well, the referee has stopped it for a foul. So a free kick for Burnley. 10 yards inside the Bournemouth half. Burnley went 1-0 up at Bournemouth and lost the game 2-1. Can somehow they find a way of reversing or copying that here today? Coming from behind like Bournemouth did back in November. O'Shea, back towards Trafford. Back to O'Shea. Knocked down the line, but has that come off a Bournemouth man? It has. It's taken a deflection, so it's going to be a throw-in to Burnley. The referee wants the throw-in to go back in towards the Burnley half. He's still waving Assignon back. The referee. Now he's happy with where it's going to be taken from. It's on this near side. There's Amdouni. It's come off Tavernier, so we're throwing again for Burnley. 10 to go. Amdouni rolls short. Cullen's there. Benson. Fofana. He's gone for Fofana down the right channel. And he has it to centre forward and takes it in towards the 18-yard box. In comes the challenge. Corner kick to Burnley.
Much better play from Fofana. Held the ball up nicely, used his strength, got beyond that last man. Good saving tackle really from Bournemouth, but yeah, much better, much better. Just seems to have lifted a little bit since Amdouni and Benson have come on.
Let's see what Burnley can do from this corner. They've taken most of them short, and they go again for a short corner. Given to Benson. He's urged to shoot from this possession. Lifts it towards the back post. Header. He's there, but it's kind of come off their forehead of O'Shea, and it loops over the bar and behind for a goal kick. And they'll take their time here, Bournemouth.
Yeah, just a lofted one, wasn't there? Wasn't enough pace on it, realistically. Lofted left footer in swinger to that far post, and you need a little bit of swaz on it, a bit more pace on there, really, just so we can get something on the end of it.
So it's a goal kick for Bournemouth. 9 to play plus stoppage time. Doesn't feel like Burnley are going to equalise, really. It doesn't feel like there's that sustained pressure where they're hammering on the door, but you never know, that might happen. It might yet create a chance. The two best chances have fallen to Semenyo. He's put both wide. Charlie Taylor wins the header. Amdouni flicks it on. Odebear's there. Falls to Billing. Lifted forward. Solanke inside the box. O'Shea runs across with him. O'Shea's gone down, but he's all right. It's going to be a corner kick for Bournemouth. You know what I mean? It's not got that feel of it being hammering down the door and equalisers around the corner. It just doesn't feel it, but still a bit of time.
I think that's just the atmosphere, isn't it? I think when you're down there, that normally the crowd will be bouncing right now with the introduced two flair players that can really excite you. They need to excite the crowd.
Corner for Bournemouth, away at the near post by Amdouni. Smith's first to it. It's knocked out of play, so Burnley are going to have a throw in. Well, they've got 8 minutes left. Burnley 0, Bournemouth 1 on BBC Radio Lancashire. 8 to play. A week today, I'll be at the London Stadium, so we'll bring you commentary of the West Ham Burnley match. Not got Super Glenn with us next week. He's up here, isn't he? He's playing football.
He is, yeah. Almighty vintage Clarets. Taking on Dean Windass and his boys from Bradford.
Oh my goodness, right.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Got Brian Jensen, Andy Cook, Graham Branch, Mickey Mellon.
Nice. Dean West,
Pates, Jerry Harrison. Got some people of your era when you were brought up.
Bournemouth, that's right in my era, all that lot, yeah. Bournemouth crossing towards the box, away by Assignon. And he thought about giving it to Benson, decides against it. Goes to Cullen. That's played out towards the left-hand side, doesn't reach Odebear. Blimey, there's a strong-looking challenge coming in. Right in front of the Burnley bench, and they've all reacted to it. On Charlie Taylor. Referee's not racing
sure to do, is he?
No, he's not, is he? He's not.
Without a yellow card.
Eventually the yellow comes, yeah, but he gave himself a bit of thinking time there, the ref.
Yeah, I'm a bit old school. I think that's a fantastic challenge. I really do.
I agree.
I think that's, 10 years ago, that's a new contract. I really do. Nowadays, you can't touch him, can you? Becoming a non-contact sport.
Well, he's booked him. But I'm with you. That's a proper good challenge, isn't it? I suppose you can't do it. Here's Fofana just trying to create something. The last touch coming off the Bournemouth defender. So it's going to be a corner kick for Burnley. 6 to play. Trailing 1-0. Every corner, I think they've worked it short. So
I don't know why, because nothing's happening.
No.
So just stick it under the crossbar. In swinger, under the crossbar, get about 7 shirts in there, cause havoc.
No, they've gone short again.
And then what?
Well, I don't know. Here's Benson. See what he can do. Gives it to Odebear. Edging up towards the edge, the area. Cross comes in on. It's a header by Esteve, I think. A glancing header from the edge of the 6-yard box, but it's gone behind for a goal kick. I don't know why they've not swung it in.
Just mix it up a little bit. I get going to get the odd one short, but just put it under the crossbar. Let's see what the goalkeeper's made. 6 or 7 claret shirts around him.
Yeah.
Loads of Bournemouth players. Let's see who's big and brave. then maybe go and get a short one the next time. But at the moment, it's very, very predictable.
Yeah. I mean, when Brownhill plays, he takes the corners, and I don't remember them really ever being worked short. He more often than not swings it in, but we'll not use that approach today. Goal kick them, won by Esteve at the back. In goes Assignon. Tavernier is dispossessed, and Burnley had it with Benson. Manuel Benson on a little surge, and just tries to dab it away to this near side for Fofana, but couldn't find him. Throw-in for Bournemouth. What's your thoughts on Fofana, Paul?
Not really sure.
Fair enough.
Not really sure. I think he plays a little bit too wide at times, doesn't play down the middle of the pitch where you want your striker to be to score goals. I liked his movement in the first half where he came short to get in behind, but I think working the channels too much at the moment for me, and not working the two centre halves in the central areas.
Well, I think Jay's coming on. As Taylor crosses in towards the 18-yard box, keeper comes and catches, and Bournemouth are back in possession. Looks like Rodriguez is getting ready to come on.
I'm just hoping he's coming on to partner Fofana.
Okay.
Because you need two strikers up there. I'll probably say to Amdouni, just go and work off the left-hand side now and take off Audebert.
Right.
Unless you just go with a back three instead of a back four, because right now we need to win this game.
Yeah.
87th minute we're in, and we need to have another body up front.
I agree.
And do something slightly different.
Because goal difference is irrelevant. They're so far behind on goal difference. It doesn't matter whether Bournemouth get another 2 or 3, like, you know, as Burnley push forward. It's backheel to Benson. Benson cuts in field. Just didn't quite have the angle for that shot that we've seen so many times last season from Benson. And there's Cullen. He's limping a little. Back with O'Shea. There's 3 minutes now to go, plus stoppage time. Back with Trafford. Trafford's at the edge of the centre circle. And with his right boot, sends it up towards the edge of the box now. Alex Scott heads it away. Cullen's been bundled over, I think. No, he hasn't. The referee says that's all right. And Bournemouth could break. Semenyo has it on the right-hand side with Solanke making up the ground, and Tavernier already inside the box, and he goes for goal himself and wins the match. It's third time lucky for the Bournemouth midfielder. Twice he's been in positions to seal it and put it wide. On the third time he hammers it in past Trafford, and that's it. Burnley lose at Turf Moor yet again, and Burnley staring down the barrel here, facing relegation back to the Championship. It almost seems impossible with 11 matches to play to believe they can find a way to stay up. Burnley 0, Bournemouth 2.
Well, that Martin Semenyo, he's been knocking at the door for this second period. He's had a few opportunities, just past the post on a couple of occasions, but on this one he's found that top corner. It's a positive run. Charlie Taylor's found in no man's land. He's trying to get forward, so there's acres of space, and O'Shea's the man to go across and try and stop him, but he's coming on his left foot, and he's absolutely buried that ball. It's a fantastic strike, and game over.
Game over.
Oh, it's off the deflection.
Little touch off Taylor, I think. Yeah, a little touch off Taylor, I think.
Again, it's when you're down there, you just don't get that luck. You know, we mentioned earlier about the luck of the referee making the right call on the back there of Taylor, and it's flying past Trafford, and it's just not meant to be at the moment, is it, for Burnley? They've got to dust themselves, and yeah, we said last chance saloon, but they're never going to give up. They've still got futures to play for. They've still got to show that they're needed at this football club, whether it be in the Premier League or Championship.
Changes are being made. So Rodriguez and Goodmanson are coming on, and I think it's O'Shea and Cullen who have gone off. But when the second went in, it's a bit like when the fourth went in for Arsenal. The ground has emptied. I think most people watch the fifth for Arsenal being scored in the pub. 2-0 to Bournemouth. And Burnley's miserable season here goes on. There's been the odd moment where if you're a travelling supporter, where you've seen some half-decent performances, and some Fulham away, for example, was probably the pick of the bunch, but not so much here. Cross comes in from the far side by Goodmanson, punched away by Neto. I think Esteve may well have shoved the Bournemouth man over. He has, so a free kick for Bournemouth. And it's in danger, Paul, this season of there's a Bournemouth player down at the minute. It's in danger this season. People just wanting it done and dusted. Like, put them out of their misery a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got to be careful how they finish this, because, you know, lots of Burnley fans are getting really, really despondent with what's happening. Of the highs of last year to such lows, it's an unbelievable turnaround, I think, and that's the worry. The worry is that when our manager comes in and changes things like Vincent did, the massive turnaround from the Sean Dyche era was huge last year, and we all learnt to love it. We got used to it. But again, it's been a massive change around again this year, and you think, why? Why has there been such a drastic change? It just needed a little bit of tweaking. Now, I know we lost a lot of loan players. You lost Teller, we lost Maatsen. Why we didn't sign Teller is beyond me. I don't know who's responsible for making that call, but it seems like a balmy one.
And
I
the
think,
centre half maybe as well.
Yeah, possibly. But again, is the manager thinking, well, no, I don't think he's good enough. I think he is just a championship centre half, possibly. And it is some strange calls in some strange areas of the pitch. And I think if they could start it all over again, Vincent would do it all over again. I don't think he'd have recruited so many young players.
There's Bournemouth trying to bring it forward up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Utara, who's come on for Bournemouth, but there's a foul there, so a free kick for the Clarets. So we've played 2 minutes of the minimum 6. There's been a sense of inevitability about the season, almost from the first few months of the season, when they just couldn't find a result here. They lost 8 on the spin, didn't they, just at home?
I think they had a hard start, though. I think you look at the fixture list, it was a very, very hard start.
Yeah.
And it was about how can you regroup. And then when you lose so many games early on and you don't think about the bigger picture, because it was a hard start, you then start to change things, you then start to overthink things and just think, well, sometimes you've just got to take it on the chin. We're playing some big teams early on, and yeah, we've got very little points on the board, but don't change what you're all about. And I was worried by that. I'm worried that they're not playing that man just in front of the back four like they did last year. Why have they changed now to having a 2 up front, basically? Amdouni's joining the front man. They've changed everything about this team, and I didn't quite get why they did that. I think you change it later on if things weren't going and you realise that's not working in the Premier League, but they changed it early on. And I think, why? I still look back and think, why? You know, why fix something that wasn't broken?
Throw in for Bournemouth. 3 minutes of additional time to play. And Bournemouth in possession down on this near side. Sander Berg as well, actually gets in and wins it, knocks it back to Trafford, and then Trafford plays it forward. Gudmundsson pulls it down, rolls it away to Odegaard on the left hand side. Odegaard coming infield, back heel by Fofana, and it's out of play on the far side for a throw into Burnley. And back it goes to James Trafford.
The big thing for me, though, is will the manager still be here at the end of the season?
Well, unless he doesn't want to be, then I think the answer is yes.
But why? This is a catastrophe that's going on right now. What he's done, the recruitment and the style of play and everything that's happening, this is bad. We're well out of the race now. If you look at it, we're way points adrift. We're not even close to winning games. Just like you said, where's the huff and the puff? Where's the real threat now? And what again, it's our identity. What are we now? I'm not sure what we are. Are we trying to play? Are we trying to go long? We look more of a threat when the goalkeeper actually goes and picks out a front man and we get the second ball. I really don't know where we're at. Don't get me wrong. I think the manager has got a watertight contract and he'll be here if he wants to be here. But I don't know, I'm just so surprised as to this massive turnaround at this club.
Gudmundsson to Fofana, his header straight to the goalkeeper. That might well be the first effort on target in the second half of Burnley.
I have a lot of buddy friends on social media, and every week I see their tickets are available at every home game now. Does anybody want an adult and 2 kids? You just think, well, that's not normal. We never saw that last year. Trying to get a ticket last year was like, it's gold dust, wasn't they?
Yes. Yeah.
But now at the moment, it's just real. I think everybody's thinking, yeah, Scott, you're right. Let's just think next year.
I think
what are we next year? A bit like Accrington, isn't it? Right now, they're thinking if Jimmy and John aren't going to be here, let's get ready for next year. maybe Vincent is going to be here. Is this what the squad that's going to take to the Championship?
Largely, yeah. I mean, there's a few lone players, but most are permanent signings. It's Berg to Fofana, who is on loan. Now it's with Assignon on the right-hand side. Seconds left to the match. There's not any sense of anger around the ground. There is a sense of inevitability, really, for me.
Yeah.
As Benson has a goal from distance, it's gone behind for a goal kick. There's a sense of, well, I think most Burnley fans think they're relegated.
And I get that, and I don't think you can't question these players. What I've seen today, I've not thought he's not fancying it, he's not running around. You've not seen any of that today. These players are trying, and like you said in commentary earlier, are they good enough at the end of the day? And maybe 2 or 3 aren't. I think defensively we're very, very weak, very vulnerable at that. In the middle of the pitch, I think it's been okay. We've not been too bad, but it's putting that ball in the back of the net. And everybody at every club, whether in the Premier League or in the Conference, you want someone that can score, and it's very, very hard. And we've not done that enough. We've not been ruthless enough. We've been toothless at times, because we had in the first 10-15 minutes a day a good 5 or 6 opportunities where we should have made the goalkeeper work.
That's it. That's the full-time whistle. There's a few boos around Turf Moor, but there's nothing kind of sustained. It's more of a sense of there's another one done towards the end of the season, really, and it is such a shame. There's still 11 games left of the season, 33 points left to get. But I think if you surveyed everybody inside the ground in a Burnley shirt here, I'd be amazed if you found one that believed they could stay up.
No, you can understand why. And I think next week when you go to West Ham, again, a difficult place. They had a great result yesterday. You still go there with that belief that, you know, if we're going to go down, we'll go down fighting.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what you want. And I've heard a few people say, "Oh, are we actually fighting?" Yeah, I do believe. Watching that today, we are fighting. In the modern game, we're not having warriors out there that are going to kick lumps out of the opposition and 2-foot people. The game's changed from that. But I do honestly believe that these boys care. These boys want to stay in the Premier League. It's just, ultimately, have they been good enough? Has the manager been good enough this year? He's got to question himself. Will he learn lessons from it? And we've got to go again next year. We it's not nailed on yet, but it's going to be Championship football, and we've got to bounce back again, and we've got to learn from it. We learned from it under Sean Dyche, and he was very resilient, and he understood what the Premier League was all about, and we need to do the same with Vincent Kompany. He's our future. If he's going to stay here for a long, long time, they need to learn from this, because it's not been a great campaign at all.
No, and there's an element, I think that's a really good point, isn't it, about Vincent Kompany. He's still very much learning about management, as much as he was obviously an absolutely fabulous player and captain for Manchester City in particular. Managerially, he is new to it.
Yeah, he is, and he's learning all the time. And you think as a player, when you're in that big world of Manchester City, it comes quite easily. But you have to make these ruthless decisions, and you see things as a player differently as a manager. And I think he'll look at it a little bit different. Because I don't think he prioritised the defence enough this year for me. For someone who is defensively minded, he was a legend as a defender. He's not someone that said, I need to make sure.
The sound of Lancashire. Billy Hoy.
BBC Radio Lancashire.
Any other position, and I don't think we did that enough. I think the importance of having a steady back four and a goalkeeper with confidence is huge. And I know the goalkeeper has taken so much stick this season. I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper. And I said it in commentary, you could put Peter Schmeichel, Edwin van der Sar in goal for us. In front of that back four, I think they get a little bit of stick as well. We've not helped the goalkeeper out enough. So a lot of learning to be done from Vincent, and I hope that they back him. They really do back him in the summer. Because there are some really good players on that pitch still. And you look at the likes of Benson, it still caused absolute havoc in the Championship.
So Turf Moor empties, another defeat here for the Burnley fans. Just one win all season in front of the home supporters, and it's another defeat to leave Burnley in the relegation zone. They are 11 points away from safety with 11 matches to play. West Ham to come next up a week today at the London Stadium. We'll bring you full match commentary of Burnley's trip to the capital in a week's time. We'll reflect in more detail tomorrow evening on the post-match programme between 6 and 7. There will be reaction on social media at BBC Lanc Sport. You'll be able to hear from the Burnley boss, Vincent Kompany. Paul, it's been great to have you back with us today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be back.
And unfortunately, a day where Burnley losing the game by 2-0. Monday night from 6, post-match, we'll debate all the weekend's football. That's it from Paul and I. We're going to hand you to Billy Hoy for the afternoon programme. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.